Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Mumia Obsidian Ali. You know who I am. I need no introduction, right? And you're listening to the Grown Man Hour with my man Bernard Riley, heard weekdays right here on YouTube. What do you think about that? How about that? Now let's get back on with the show. Thank you.
Something special happened today. I got green lights all the way, with no big red sign to stop me, no traffic jam delay. See, I was driving over the moon in my big hot air balloon, high into the darkness. I hope I get there soon. There's so many things to do, so many people I need to talk to, and they've all been waiting for me. Well, I gotta make it through. Something special happened today. I got green lights all the way, with no big red sign to stop me, no traffic jam delay. Thank my stars for every green. You have no idea what it means. No, to a man who's always traveling, who's seen the things that I've seen. I don't know what's yet to come, not sure of anything that I've done really makes that much a difference. Well, I hope it has for some. Something special happened today. I got green lights all the way, with no big red sign to stop me, no traffic jam delay. Well, I was driving over the moon, in my big hot air balloon, floating high up in the darkness. I promise that I'll make it to you very soon. Something special happened today.
What's up, good people? What's up? We are back in the building. I skipped out on my duty this morning, so I'm here tonight. I never know exactly how these night shows are going to turn out. I just piece them together, throw them together, hop on the air, and if you show up, you show up. If you don't, you don't. But I appreciate everybody who made it in here. Appreciate everybody who made it in here. Never know what the turnout gonna be on these night shows. Feel like I just put my shirt on too. I don't feel like I got it on all the way. Anyway, what's going on? What's going on? Glad everybody could make it on in here. Shout out to those. I normally say the early bird squad, but it's late as hell, so I can't say that. But do want to salute and shout out those who came in bright and early. Dropped a comment. Hopefully you hit the like button on the way in. I see 32 people in the building. 21 likes. Make sure you hit that like button. Black Torch came through. The first one, he said, "Good night, Bernard. Let the games begin." Ain't no games. It's all business tonight. All business. Serious business. D-Rock Den came through. He says, "Good evening, BR." Latrell Pollard says, "Bernard on this late." Yeah. I thought this was your bedtime. It is. No, I'll be up late. I will be in the bed by now. We'll be watching something that I'm going to fall asleep on. But sometimes I do end up to damn near past 1 o'clock sometimes. It just happens. Sometimes I lay in the bed, start watching something, and end up not able to sleep. I will go work out right now. Like, I will go do a late night workout. I don't know. I get energy to work out sometimes late at night. So I vary. It goes back and forth. Jerome D in the building. What's going on? Says, "Good evening, folks." Kenny Conjo in the building says, "Evening greetings, Bernard Riley, and everyone. Salute to the veterans watching." Absolutely. Always salute to the veterans. And have a happy Veterans Day tomorrow. Absolutely. Way to shout them out early. Excuse me. Excalibur in the building. What's going on? Dark Torch, what's up? Salute to you. Said, "Love the intro." Me too. And shout out once again to SKC. And on the version of the intro that I played this time, that was Obsidian. I was about to shout out X, but definitely shout out to X, but that was Obsidian on the intro with the voiceover work on that one. So definitely shout out to Obsidian. Sugar G in I skipped right there. There it is. Sugar G in the building. Say, "Hit the like button on the way in. Make sure you do it." 48 people in here. A few more people just came in. So make sure you hit that like button. Appreciate that. He says, "I see they let the losers stay up late." I have no idea what you're talking about. Who's the losers? I don't know what you're talking about. We're talking about the election? There are no losers because the American people have spoken. And when American people speak and their voices are heard, we all win. Yeah. All right. Shout out to everybody that made it in bright and early. Shout out. Salute. There are lies, damn lies, and then there are statistics. You know what? Real briefly before I get into what I came here to talk about, because I'll be talking about how stats get weaponized against Black men in a very ridiculous way. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to be talking about that victim Olympics that Black people in general like to play, but also how stats, hood conservative, nobody won yet. Right on. We shall see. It's going to be interesting, but I'm moving forward just under the general impression that it's Biden and Kamala are president and vice president. That's how I'm moving forward in this thing. That's just what I'm doing. That's if what happens, but I'm not about to lose sleep on it. I will discuss it as more news come out on it. I will discuss it. Shout out to Angry Man who's on the front line with that. Well, you are too, the hood conservative. You definitely on the front line too. But as far as somebody with a big platform that seemed to be growing like crazy, I don't know his subscriber count, but man, his views, his numbers been killing it. He's been killing it on the whole political discussion. That's why I reached out to him for that one-on-one where he, knocked it out the park over here for me. That's saying it's sitting there with like 10,000 views. So yeah, Angry Man been killing it with the political thing. He actually transitioned one of his channels. I mean, you see the name Street Conservative, but he kind of was gradually moving in that direction, and that's kind of a hard thing to do to when you change the name of your channel, and then you kind of, I won't say he didn't exactly change his content. He just gradually moved into that direction, and at the right time changed it, and then just kept on going and kept on flowing. And man, I mean, I don't sit there and watch the whole stream because be busy and be doing stuff, but I check in there, definitely check in there, and listen to enough of it to get the gist of what he's talking about, and he be killing it. But every time I check in on either channel, no matter what time it is, he got at least right around 700 views. So yeah, he definitely killing it. He definitely on the front lines of covering everything. I will gradually touch on it, but I won't go full every show like that. I'll do some of the normal content, some of the stuff we normally talk about, and mix in the current news and events of the election or lack thereof. I'll gradually mix that in, gradually put it in there because they do got to get covered. And we will see what happens there. But going forward. I was trying to remember something. I was trying to get on something. I was trying to talk about something, and you threw me off. The content still fits. Yeah. It definitely. Talking about this election fits right in with Black Manosphere talking points because we are talking about the divide, either the political or social contract between Black men and Black women. So that's intertwined into it, and we saw it play out on the political stage talking like Biden, as Obsidian has been talking about how he was saying is going to play out on the political stage, all the acrimony between all the unholy acrimony between Black men and Black women is played out on a political stage, and it was interesting. There was a lot of people in high places making comments that sounded like they were referencing the Black Manosphere. It was interesting. So that's all interesting stuff. So yeah, we do gotta hold the line and talk about that and keep the similar content going in that regard. We do got to keep it going. In this episode today, we'll be touching on that kind of content. That whole kind of thing that's going on. Jerome D says the contract has been ripped. Oh yeah. Yeah. Not ripped as much as I thought. I was expecting. I mean, I've heard different numbers. I've heard 18. I've heard 20. So let's go to 20. I was thinking 25% at least. 25% of Black men will be voting for the GOP, but 20% did. 20% did, and that's not bad. I mean, that's saying something. However, I don't got the clip to play for it. I mean, I might be familiar with the name Tamika Mallory. I may be familiar with that name. She was talking about how Black women just kicked so much ass voting for Trump. I mean, kicked so much ass voting for the Democratic Party, how they did this, how they was organizing, how they came out in great numbers. What they've been saying they've been doing, they've made the argument that they've been doing all of that for years. And it's time for them to get they come up and like it's more that you expecting from the Democratic Party. I mean, I feel like Black women kind of get a lot from the Democratic Party, but they're saying that they're supposed to get their come up and they're supposed to get more. And we've been hearing a lot of references, a lot of people, a lot of talk where a lot of people been saying, when they're talking about how the election was swung, and they like, especially Black women, how Black women came up for the Democratic Party. They did it. There's been a lot of talk about that. And the Black women has been doing a lot of talk. Well, I've been hearing a lot of white women, some liberal white men, definitely some liberal black men. Shout out to D.L. Hewley. He constantly talking about how black women saved the day and everything and all of that. And it is a fair question of whether or not black men should really look at it like, okay, now what is this Democratic Party going to do? Are they going to look at this and say, well, it was black women who went ham voting for us. Black men kind of went the other way. So anything that we do, is it just going to be for black women, or are we going to try to do something to bring black men back into the fold, or are they just going to double down on black women, the people who they already saying is the absolute reason, the hands down? Who says all the fraudulent votes from black women. But a big fuss has been made. A big fuss has been made about black women in their voting. The logic sphere. I was doing politics when y'all was talking about Kevin Samuels. I don't know what you mean by when we was talking about Kevin Samuels. If you would have said you was doing politics when we was talking about women, I would have understood what you meant. I don't know what you mean by when we was talking about Kevin Samuels. I'd have definitely understood the point you was making if you would have said when we was talking about women. And I'm still gonna talk about women as it pertains to politics, though. I'm a merge the two together. I'm gonna fuse it. But shout out to Ty City. Shout out to Ty City, though. Shout out to Ty City. I recently shared one of your videos, one of your yeah, I think I told you that. I definitely, I'm gonna salute, shout out, and promote you as much as possible, homie. You know that. You be killing it over there. Your views don't reflect your hard work and effort, man. So I do want to see your channel is one of the ones I do want to see really blow up. Real talk. You got you do good work over there. Jerome D says, I don't take Hollywood black men personality seriously because they have to ride for Democrats or else they get blackballed. Ty City, you did content on your boy Van Jones over there crying. Have you done that one yet? Because I just said I'm not even touching it. I ain't even playing that shit over here. Man, you gotta get them tears on the record, man. We got to see them tears. I saw that shit, man. I was just done. And the thing, I think D.L. Hewley played the clip, but I don't even know why I still follow D.L. Hewley. I guess it's entertainment. Actually, I get content. He said some shit you got to skip. I get content from over there on D.L. Hewley. It's a lot of stuff I should be using for tonight, stuff that's related, but I ain't even gonna use it. Now I gotta see my confused face when I try to find what I'm looking for. Oh wait, no, I gotta go. I ain't even got that up. I gotta go to my email to pull that up. Give me a second. I got to go to my email to get that. All right, there that is. All right, give me a second. I'm fumbling, but I'm about to get it right. Trying to stay focused. But no, that damn Van Jones, man, that nigga boo-hoo crying because another white man got in office. Praise the Lord. I'm like, damn. That shit was weird. But all right, we'll be talking about today about the weaponizing of stats, how they weaponize stats against black men. When they talk a lot and make a big deal about how much black women vote compared to how much black men vote, they do that all the time. And like I always like to point out, mostly everything where they try to weaponize something that black women do against black men, it's normally like that across the board. Yes, women across the board vote more than men. It says right here, historically, women have had slightly higher rates of voter turnout than men. This is going back to 1980. Going back to 1980. You know what? I should have took the time to try to find something before 1980. Excuse me. This is going back to 1980 when this is like still, I damn near want to say the welfare generation, even though welfare and second wave of feminism, all that started, really running amok in the 70s. So if they going, coming out of the 60s, late 60s, early 70s. So this is going into the 80s. There's still kind of that generation where, you can see women started voting more than men, and that trend remained, and it's sort of still spreading out and getting, got a little further because it was an even 64-64. But now women are, up by 4 points on men in general when it comes to voting. So that's one little tidbit to put in your back pocket. Now, the other part of this, where the hell, why can't I? Bear with me. Why can't I get off of there? God damn it, my hand's greasy or something. My little touch screen action ain't working. Get out of there. I'm having serious technical difficulties because I'm about to show the breakdown by race. That's the goal here. But they will not play ball with me for some reason. They're not even letting me back up. It's like my computer just went full Negro wireless. Let me just stop the screen sharing now, see what's going on. Okay. It went full Negro wireless. I want to show y'all the difference. Something that I told y'all before. The difference in how black women vote versus how black men vote, but comparing how every other race votes in relationship to their women and who vote the most out of men by race and who votes the most when it comes to women voting by race. That's what I'm about to get into because they've been weaponizing the stats, weaponizing the information. But my sheet is not working right today. It is not working right. Let's see. Wait, no, I can't do that. I gotta pull it up. Damn, I do apologize. Something just went terribly wrong. So I gotta bring up all kinds of different windows. So bear with me for a second. It'll only be about 15 more seconds tops. I'm clocking myself. Hold on. Dum 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 dum. All right, there it is. I apologize for the dead air. Y'all caught me in a confused state. It caught me in a confused state, but I got it right now. All right. All right, I should be able to see this. Hopefully I can see it good. Hopefully I can understand it good. And that look a little small. Let me try to make that just a little bigger. If I can get that just a little bit bigger for y'all, then we be in business. But you can see it says the gender gap in voter turnout. Gender gap in voter turnout values significantly by race and ethnicity. Now, as you can see, how they made a big deal. They ran even a commercial, like a ad. They ran an ad where they even pointed out black women vote more than black men, as if it was a big deal. Like we just these disengaged, don't give a damn, losers on the couch who don't care about the political process. That's how they depicted it. And yes, there is a gap between black men and black women, a wide gap, 64 to 54. And when you compare the gap to white women who vote more than black women, to white, is 67 to 64. So yeah, we do need to up that. We do need to up that, definitely. Absolutely, positively, definitely. But I'm quite sure everybody going in, if they would had to say, if you had to poll 100 people and ask them, what demographic in America do you think votes the least? You probably would have said black men. You can tell from looking right here that black men, we vote more than Hispanic women and Hispanic men. We vote more than Asian women and Asian men. So out of all of those different gender and race demographics, is 8 of them. We're coming in 4th place. We're in 4th place. Not killing it, but doing all right. We're doing all right. It's only a disparity. It's only a disparity because black women who I hate to even put it like this, but we gotta keep it real. Gotta call reality where reality is. A lot of them show up in great numbers for the welfare. They scared the Republicans gonna take away the welfare. They look concerned. Scared that they gonna take away the welfare. So that boosts up their numbers. They got to keep the Democrats in office. I think we get and understand that. Corner Store Podcast in the morning says, will there be a morning show? Absolutely, absolutely. Not only will there be a morning show, it will be a one-on-one, a very controversial one-on-one with Mr. Fantastic. We're going to be covering, the hypocrisy when it comes to police shootings. I'm going to try to be nice, because I've been trying to be a better person on that, but Fantastic goes ham, so I'm gonna try to be neutral and not let dead brothers get completely pissed on by Fantastic. We're gonna have a good conversation though, but it will be controversial. So yeah, definitely you want to tune in for that one. I'm just doing this one. I don't know if I'll be on for an hour. I don't know if I'll open it up. I don't know what I'll do with this one. I'm just playing it by ear, just winging it, and we're going to see how it goes. But shout out to Corner Store Podcast. Appreciate you coming through with the super chat. I ain't even checked my phone. Oh no, my phone is on. Thought it was on silent. All right. I'd like to thank everybody who'll be coming through on the super chat and the cash app. Appreciate all your brothers. But yeah, we me and Fantastic getting it in tomorrow at 9 a.m. Make sure you be there. LF Third says Van Jones crying was hilarious. Van Jones said it was a white lash when Trump got elected, but the 2 white people were the candidates. Yeah. Look to the community ties. Mass incarceration close enough. I don't even know what y'all talking about. But yeah, this is something that I've been talking about. And when I talk about stuff, I like to pull it up. So I do want to make sure that we saw that. So why do they go in so much talking about how black women are the most reliable voter bloc in this country? They don't even vote the most in this country. It's 2 demographics. Well, they're more or less tied with white men, but it's 2 demographic. Well, they're either in 2nd or 3rd place. So it's potentially 2 demographics that vote more than them. But they say that they talk about how they're the most reliable voter bloc. They say it as if they're voting more than everybody else, but really what they're saying is that they vote the most consistently at the highest percentage rate for the same party. So at best, they're saying that black women are the most on code, but by that logic, black men would be by the same logic that they say black women are the most reliable voter bloc. By that same exact logic, you would have to say black men are the second most reliable voter bloc. But before anybody looked up the stats, I'm pretty sure you all would have said, and everybody would have said, that black men were the most unreliable. I'm quite sure everybody would have more than likely said that black men are the most inconsistent, unreliable. But no, if we're voting more than 4 of the other demographics, and we traditionally have voted for the same party, the same amount, pretty much at the same percentage rate as black women, and we're only second to, and we're behind them demographic as far as the sex, the race and gender. We're behind them. Then, I mean, it kind of shows that all the ass kissing of black women that we've seen taking place is, a little ridiculous. And I've heard black men get on that, talking about how organized black women are, how they're just the most, they're a political force, they're a reliable voter bloc, they're this, they're that. But by those same metrics, you have to say the same exact thing about black men. Now they're about to lose that because the Democratic Party has done nothing for black men. So they're about to lose it. They lost a small percentage of it. And I'm betting and hoping, and even a larger percentage of it in 2 years. That's what I'm hoping for. But everything that they've been saying that black women are when it comes to voting, black men are. And in that sense, we're technically more valuable. I mean, it's the same value that they apply to black women. Because you think about it, white men who vote more than black men, their vote was split up. You see? Their vote was split up. The black male vote wasn't split up. It was steady, it was consistent, and it was, like I said, in 4th place in terms of the race and gender, in terms of the voting. And other than black women, we were the most consistent voting for the same party. So there was a party that depended on us practically more than anybody, any other race or gender got depended on. You see, nobody looked at it like that. Nobody looked at it like that, and they just weaponized the fact that black women vote more than black men. They use that tidbit and more so weaponize it against us, like, you niggas need to get your ass in gear. But as you can see from the stats, it was more in gear than these other demographics. More in gear than Hispanic men and Hispanic women. More in gear than Asian men and Asian women. But I think they lost it. And I think they lost a valuable voting block going forward. The conservative said, fuck being a better person. Man, I'm working on it, man. I'm working on it. I ain't gonna put a cape on for no nigga shit. I won't. I'm not gonna put a cape on for it. But I don't gotta piss on graves either. I mean, but I ain't, you will not see a cape on. You will not see me with a cape on for that. That's my biggest problem with pro-blacks. I said it once. I said it again. As David Carroll said, I said it in video after video after video. That's how I feel. I said it once. I said it again. Pro-blacks, they spray a lot of cologne and perfume over all the shit that's in the black community. A lot of black people out there just taking shits all over the place. The shit just shitty and shit is everywhere. And they just out there just trying to, they ain't trying to make, no, we can't fix this shit. Not gonna clean it up. We just gonna try to spray cologne over it to mask the smell. We just want to mask the smell a little bit. That's the job of the pro blacks. The Pookeisha and Pookie apologist. Did you hear Walter Wallace 911 call? Is that you talking about who he? No, I did not hear the call, but me and Fantastic will be discussing that. Me and Fantastic will be discussing who he tomorrow. We will be discussing that. Trader MBD in the building. What's going on? Who this Wallace dude? Yeah, man. We about to be discussing that. I think the rapper that died. I don't know them new rappers. I don't. So it is what it is on that. I don't know them cats. But yeah. It says Lord, he took the SYSBM MAGA gloves off. Historically, the conscious people were the people calling out the flaws. Yeah, like you mean like Malcolm X and all of that? Yeah. And caught a lot of controversy for it. Shahrazad Ali, for example. Yeah, you know. That's true. That's true. Eventually they start getting called out for it, you know. Don't be speaking against, you know, Negroes doing Negro shit. Don't call out the Negro shit. It's been a lot of that. There's been a lot of that going on. Black people are cemented in the ground as the permanent bottom class now. I don't buy that. The years of fuckery succeeded. I don't think permanent. Because that's another thing that speaks to this whole weaponizing of stats that I mentioned. I was the first one. I mean, I criticize other people when they keep saying, shout out to Ty City because he kind of just did this. But when they be saying, man, I was the first one that covered that. I was the one that talked about that. It's like the Tony Baker, that gorilla and Tony Baker when he beat his chest. He's like, I'm the one that told y'all how to do it. That's one of them jokes that only like 5% of the audience gonna get, but just rock with it. But yeah, I don't want to be like that. But I do believe I am the first one in the manosphere that has pointed out the simple fact that black men on average make more money than Hispanic and Latino men, more educated than Hispanic and Latino men, graduate high school at a higher rate than Hispanic and Latino men, vote more than Hispanic and Latino men. It's a lot of stuff that we are not at the bottom at. But the women of that group are not on YouTube crusading against, you know, every reason, you know, talking shit about how much they men ain't shit. They don't got a decades history talking about how incompetent, how ineffective, how uneducated their men are. I got to dig up the data on this, but I think it's some data that I think they beat their women more than any other men. I think I saw that. I'm going to have to dig that up and look it up, but I think they're the most abusive too. Nowhere on Hispanic Latino YouTube are they doing that. Well, the argument is that the other women aren't doing that because their man give them something to submit to. Or their man do this, their man do that. I just showed you the stats that they don't. I just showed you the stats that everything that y'all complain about, there's another group that's worse. But the women ain't sitting there talking shit. And their marriage rate ain't as low as ours. They find the men the men of their race that want to be married, and they get on board with those men. And you see it all the time that, okay, I'm not going to get into that. Shout out to Game Changer when he always points out that a lot of times in relationships, a black man is more handsome than his woman is pretty. But a lot of those Hispanic Latino relationships and marriages, that woman be more prettier than what the dude is handsome. Why? Because she understands that a woman, you're supposed to find competent um the most competent man with the best character that's willing to commit to you that you could possibly get. She probably could have got a better looking man. She probably could have got her some old Rico Suave looking motherfucker, but hey, she found a goddamn hard working blue collar laborer who was willing to work hard and do the shit that a man's supposed to do. She hopped on board. That's simple shit, and she can go I don't know, go do whatever those women, Hispanic Latino women, do for money. I think they be, I don't know, working at nursing homes, wiping asses, or doing whatever they do for a living. I don't know what they do for a living. I'm being ridiculous, but you get the point though. There's a general understanding of the average Hispanic or Latino woman that yes, that average Hispanic or Latino man who's a hardworking, decent character and willing to commit, that's the guy you need to get with. Black women conduct themselves in a way to where, like they've said it. We, either through the job we work, we make just enough to get by. There's a small percentage of them. I just looked up the stats on this. I think, was it 9% of them? I think only 9% of them make more than $75,000 a year. I just looked that up. I think I'm about to look that up right now. Floyd L. Hope, black people are cemented. Okay, well, you already read that one. I'm looking at the other one. This is the one I'm looking for. RBR, you done came back through. Shame on any journalist who accepts stats from conservatives who oppose democracy because Obama's black. All right, RBR in the building. RBR, you done super chatted me so many times. I'm gonna have to give you a wrench eventually, man. You just be coming through with the super chat. I'm gonna have to give you a wrench. I have to go over there and super chat you, man. I feel like I owe you some money. You done super chatted me so many times, brother. I gotta go support your content. Trader MVD says these night streams are fire. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Still coming back again in the morning. Gonna have Fantastic on. And he going in talking about the hypocrisy of shootings when the black person is shot and how people react to it. That's what we're gonna be talking about. He suggested that time. He came up with that topic, so I know he got some heat he's sitting on. He ready to go in. Appreciate that, Trey. But yeah. In all those areas that we're doing better than another demographic of men. They didn't have decades of shitting on us, decades of books, decades of movies about it. It's just not a thing. It's not a thing. It's almost like to the point where we don't even acknowledge. I'm plotting on doing a whole stream on this. How it's almost like, and we brainwashed to the point where we don't even acknowledge other people's savagery. Check this out. When I was just recently looking at the stats on black people in California, down like 6%. What do people say to that? Black men, people say they're weak. We got ran up out our neighborhood, got our ass kicked all up and down California, LA, and Compton, and just got ran out our neighborhoods. That's what we calling it? Well, when black people moved into other neighborhoods at large numbers and population-wise overtook it, and white people was already there, and their white sons, white kids, start getting beat up at school. Their daughters, white girls, start coming up pregnant. What did the white man do? Did he stand his ground? Did he fight for his? No, he got the fuck out of Dodge. He got the hell up out of there. We ran them up out of there. but we give them a dignified, cute dress-up name. We call it white flight. But when somebody else come through with some savage shit, more savage than we is, and we get the hell out of Dodge, we get called weak. Have y'all ever stopped and thought about that? Somebody came through more heavily populated and more savage than us, and we got the fuck out of Dodge because we didn't want to deal with their savagery. And instead of giving it a cute dress-up name and calling it white flight, I mean black flight, no, we just we some punks that got ran out our neighborhood. Well, why we ain't calling the white man some punks? They had to hold I mean, come on. Why we gotta hold an L because we didn't want to deal with some savages? But we gonna give them a cute dress-up name and call it white flight. We couldn't bear to live around those savage beasts. Well, okay, neither could we when we dipped up out of Compton or wherever else we left. Like, come on. I meant to do a whole damn stream on this. I gotta write that down so I don't forget. I'm gonna do a whole stream on that. But I really had a good discussion today about Black conservatives finding a young Colin Powell or Condoleezza Rice to do for the GOP what Obama did for the Democratic Party, take over the party. You know what? Yeah, that's a good discussion. I'm sure you went left a few times, but that is a good discussion. Yeah, Colin Powell. Yeah, definitely. He should have. That we was talking about that over here. How Colin Powell kind of punked out. Tony Based, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Trader MD says, why black snowflakes trying to tell black conservatives, how to run our shit? Good one. Stay over there with Stacey Abrams and Brittany Cooper. Yeah, they was talking about Sturdy Stacey, how she signed up millions of people to vote. They was giving her all the cocktails with Quains was talking about that. How they talking about one, how she lost running in Alabama, but they said she won. She got the win in a bigger way. And was saying how Big Mala better get Stacey Abrams a job. Get her in there. I wonder how much of that we gonna see. Because I'm not, sold on Big Mala's blackness. However, I am sold on the idea that she gonna put a lot of black women in there. And it's funny because black women are talking shit like how they supposed to really get their come up now. I gotta find the recent data. If somebody got that, just drop the link in the chat. I'll pull it up. I want to get the recent data on this 2020 election, exactly what percentage of black women voted, because like the stats that I had up, or still got up here, I just can't see it. They normally vote at, and let's see, what is this? What year is that? That is 2016. They voted at 64%. 64% of eligible voters, black female voters, 64% of them actually voted. I want to see if it was still at 64%. They talking shit like they got it up to 85 or something. Like that would be impressive. But then here we go. That whole thing that we was talking about earlier just came back, where I heard that upwards of 90% of eligible voters voted or something like that. Zero did a good stream on that, by the way. Zero came with it. Zero did a good stream on that. How allegedly like 90% of eligible voters voted. Like that's, you can see from the data right there, that's not likely. Even white women, the highest demographic of voters, the highest they ever got to, it looked like in, let's see, what year was that? I won't be able to say the exact number. I'll just have to eyeball it. Damn, that's zoomed in as it could get. It looked like white women got to, that's probably 70. That's probably 70. White women was at 70%. They saying across the board, 90% of people voted in some areas. So man, so yeah, that's weird and unheard of. Shout out to Enemy Nation. Says Bernard, that's different. Blacks were U.S. citizens. Those Hispanics were illegal immigrants who were protected by the sanctuary cities. I mean, you pointed out one area why it was different, but as far as the point that I was making, I don't think it was different because we point out I'm just looking at how we label stuff, how we look at stuff. I mean, if one group, I feel like I got too much damn lotion on. Shit. I don't use lotion that much, but I got too much of my beard butter. I think it got all on my hands, and I touched my face, and now my face all greasy and shit. All right, I be telling y'all all my business. The point that I'm simply making is citizens or not citizens. It really don't. The point is just how we react to it. That's my point. When black people move into white neighborhoods and the white man get ran about his shit, we call it white flight. And they get viewed as, respectable people who left because they're good, upstanding people and they didn't want to have to deal with those savages. Their houses was getting broken into, their little Johnny was getting beat up at school, and little Susie was coming up pregnant and all that shit, and they just got out of there. They left because they're dignified people. They didn't get criticized for not standing their ground and not letting these people run them out of their home. That was their fucking family's home. They bought it and they owned it. And they had to put it up. They had to put grandma's house up for sale that she passed down. So they had to put it up for sale and get out of there. They get called white flight. They get a dignified name and viewed as, the morally, the morally superior people in that situation. But with black people, when a similar thing happened, where black people just got out of Dodge because another group came in being too savage, being too overpopulated and too savage, they had too many numbers. So when little fights break out, niggas was getting jumped. It was, they had the numbers. And they was being too savage with this shit. They gangs and they drugs and all they shit started overtaking, and it was shootouts, and they wild out here. We had to leave. I mean, I shouldn't say we, because I wasn't out there. I've been sitting here in Michigan, where our Hispanic population is only 3%. Yeah, I just found that out today. I just be sitting there chilling, looking at stats. I do that sometimes. I just found we only got 3%. But yeah, they was over there. They was over there wilding. They was on some savage fuckery. And black people got out of Dodge, which I think was the right thing to do. I mean, when white people did it, it was the right thing to do. They were viewed as dignified in the situation, justified, and had dignity in the situation, getting away from savages. But when black people did the same thing, oh, y'all weak. Y'all got ran up out y'all neighborhood. Y'all got ran up out y'all hood that y'all didn't own any property on. But y'all got ran up out y'all hood. Y'all got y'all ass kicked all up and down California. Y'all got we basically, like when somebody was talking about a race war, which would never happen for reasons that I gave. When somebody was talking about a race war, somebody actually said, somebody said, maybe we should pick on a smaller group and start fighting a race war. Somebody said, I think it was Hood Conservative, said, we already did that and we lost. But theoretically, no, we theoretically won a race war. Whenever there's ever been white flight in any city, that was a small race war won, which proves my point that a race war is not going to be fought U.S. government against black citizens. No, it will be black citizens versus white citizens. If it get too out of control, then the government will get in and break it up. Like I said, any type of race war, it will be something the equivalent of the not effing around coalition. Y'all seen them out there, them black dudes in black. They got on bulletproof vests, and it basically just looking like the Panthers, reinvented. It had to be a group that just looks like them. I don't know if they really about that life or really want to smoke, but it would have to be a group that look like them, and they'll be in a small race war that would like the Tiki Torch posse of Charlottesville, and it'll just be a little back and forth, spitter spatter beef turf war, essentially the equivalent of like some gang violence between those two. And if it get too out of hand, then yes, the military, the government, or the police force will get in to break it up. That will be that wouldn't count as a race war. That wouldn't count as a civil war. That wouldn't count as nothing. That would just be like Bloods and Crips, but only in this case the Crips are white. That wouldn't, so that's the most it will get to in terms of a race war. And the military and police force of black people and white people will get in between them white niggas and black niggas and break the shit up. Like that's how that will go. Platt in the building. What up, Platt? What up, Platt? I enjoyed having you on the last stream. Enjoyed having you. All right. It was some more stats I was about to pull out because something happened on this show, and I wanted to do. This is about to be a jumbled up mix of a lot of different stuff. I think I covered the whole voting thing the way I wanted to cover it and talk about that. But what's the other stat? That 1 in 3 stat that they throw out a lot about black women. 1 in 3 black women were sexually assaulted between the age of 18 and in between the age of 0 to 18 or something like that. I remember I was talking on the show and I was pointing out something that black women do that I deem to be some fuckery. And Sister George hopped up on the panel. And Sister George, my dear friend, colleague, and doormat, she hopped up on the panel and she said that, well, you got to understand, with black women, 1 in 3 were sexually assaulted or molested as a child. So, so that's why they acting like that. So I'm like, I asked her, what percentage of other women in this country were sexually assaulted or molested as a child between the age of 0 to 18? Crickets. So when I went and looked that up, and keep in mind, this is a stat. This is this website. They get their information. They use information from all over. I shouldn't say from all over. I didn't mean to say it. I mean, the information that's on here is all over. You can find it everywhere. That's what I meant to say. Anywhere that keeps stats on this, you can find it. But it's stats on the whole. They don't do the race thing over here. So they're not talking about a specific race. But keep in mind, every time in these discussions, when they try to point out that 1 in 3 girls are molested in this country, 1 in 3 black girls are sexually assaulted or molested in some type of way between the age of 0 to 18, they never ask the question, what about the whole of the country? And when you look it up, they always use that. We've heard it in this space 1,000 times that they use that for when they're talking about black girls, and they'll use it to try to make an excuse for all sorts of fuckery. You've heard black men do that when we criticizing black women. Oh, you got to understand, man, 1 in 3 were molested. That's why they behaving and conducting themselves like that. But 1 in 3 girls in this country as a whole, regardless of race, have been sexually abused before the age of 18. Now, what they mean by sexual abuse or sexual assault, it could be anything. It could be inappropriate touching. It could be, an 8-year-old, a 7-year-old girl being inappropriately touched by her 10-year-old older cousin, which is wrong, which is absolutely horrible and horrifying. But it's used in a way to try to charge up black men with being these sexual predators. But by the same stats, the same token, the same everything, all women in this country are sexually assaulted at the same rate as black women. So whenever this is used as an excuse to try to justify a said behavior of a black woman, we got to remember, we can point out that all women get molested or sexually assaulted at the same rate. But the way that it is described when they even talk about that 1 in 3 playing grab ass damn near counts. But it is some actual women who I know some personally who actually experienced it. It's a horrible, terrifying, horrible thing. And any man who engages in that should, okay, I don't want to say shot on sight, but damn, that almost would be, mercy for what he deserved, But, and that's, I don't got it right. Y'all can't see what I was showing y'all all this time. That's what I meant to be showing y'all. I didn't have the screen up properly. You can see right under there, 1 in 5 boys are sexually abused before the age of 18. I'm trying to read comments in the chat right now. Bernie, you full of that oil tonight. I think you're talking about my beard butter. 2 and 3 black women sexually objectify themselves, trying to get caught. With what? There, and I can see that. Yes, undocumented Hispanics paid $850 billion taxes. They don't spend in Beverly Hills. Hold on. It was something I saw in the chat. Something I'm trying to find. Good point. The lie that racists tell you to get your home for 20 cents on the dollar is to lie about not wanting to live next to Oprah or LeBron. Holy shit. Somebody countered the stats. That's what I'm trying to find. Smith says Cortez Smith is only 1 in 4. This was saying 1 in 3. They say it's 3 in 5 black girls. I haven't heard the 3 in 5. I have not heard 3 in 5. I've heard 1 in 3. If it is 3 and 5, that would be more than 1 out of 3. That would put it at just above 50%. That would put everybody else above, right at 33%. If it is 3 and 5. Now you're about to make me get my Google on, but no, I was to understand that it was 1 in 3. I've always heard 1 in 3 when referring to black women. That's what I have always heard. Yeah, somebody else pointed out RBR arguing with himself. I agree. I totally agree. He do be arguing with his goddamn self. Or he just be making up shit that he be arguing about. Like, I don't even know what. It's hard to even pinpoint exactly what the hell RBR is doing, thinking about. Be all over the place. Be just a random collection of thoughts. But yeah, that's another one of those weaponized stats. Weaponized stats where they never stop to ask what percentage across the board happens. Does it happen to? But you got me thinking. You got me thinking. I gotta get to Googling. I'm up at the hour mark. Up at the hour mark. I just typed in, hold on. 3 out of 5 black. So let's see. Okay, I just typed in 3 out of 5 black girls. And what popped up was the first one that popped up on Google is why are 4 out of 5 black women obese? 16th Street Baptist church bombing. Obesity. No, I don't think they say 3 out of 5. Okay, now I'm about to put magic word in there. Yeah, I ain't finding it, bro. I'm not finding it. Whoever said 3 out of 5, I'm not finding it. It might be here somewhere, but I'm not finding it. I hate that I'm fishing while I'm on the air. I don't like to do that. I like to already know and already have it up. Said in the U.S., 38% of black women experience sexual violence other than rape during their lifetime. Then between that 0 to 18, that definitely would be too high. 35% of black women experience some form of contact of sexual violence during their lifetime. Nah, man, they in that one. They hovering in that 1 out of 3. 40% of confirmed sex trafficking survivors in the U.S. are black. Yeah, man, I'm gonna stick with the 1 out of 3. I'm gonna stick with the 1 out of 3. That's what it appears to be. That's what it appears to be. Oh yeah, I thought that was funny. When I just typed in 3 out of 5 black girls, and the first thing Google suggested was no, 4 out of 5 black women are obese, and I didn't even type obese. I didn't type nothing about weight. It's like Google just wanted to make sure I knew that. I didn't even realize how funny that was. I was focused on trying to find the data that I was looking for. I didn't realize that Google just roasted the hell out of them for no reason. That ain't even what I was looking for, Google. You ain't have to just come at them sideways like that. That was wrong. Oh man. Says keep in mind, these stats have no evidence. Our nation have always suffered with sexual exploitation of kids. Black women have no standing on this issue. Google wanted to put on their obese. Wait, who looked it up that much though? Yeah, for it to pop to the top of the list, the top of the suggestions, yeah. That mean that is a highly searched topic. Yeah, man, that's one that they weaponize. That's one that they weaponize. There's a few things they weaponize. I remember shit, now I got stuff up that I didn't even want to have up. Yeah, I got stuff up that I didn't even want to have up. Hold on. The black boys reading stats. We are the lowest with that, even though Hispanics, we right neck and neck at the bottom with them. But it was weapon. I don't like how that shit get weaponized too. I could not find something that we've been saying here. Somebody said, I've heard a lot of people talking about how grown ass black men, literacy, I can't even talk, literacy rate or reading proficiency is that of a fourth grader. I couldn't find that stat. I looked really hard. I couldn't find it. But one thing that I did find is stats that show that in this country, most people are not reading at level regardless of race. But they like to bring out the stats and show that black men are not reading at level. But there's some stats that suggest that most of this damn country can't read, at least at level. Now, I couldn't find the one that said black men read at a fourth grade level. I couldn't find that one. I looked high and low, but there are stats that show that black women do read at a higher level than black men at every grade. Now, the fuckery in that is that all women read at a higher level than the men, the men in their race at their grade. Women across the board are more proficient when it comes to reading and all of that. They're more proficient when it comes to that than men, but men are better at math, and men across the board by race do better at math. Black men do better at math than black women. Hispanic and Latino men do better at math than Hispanic and Latino women, and so forth and so on with Asian and white. But when it comes to reading, it's flipped around. And just like black men are at the bottom when it comes to their reading level, or black boys are at the bottom when it comes to their reading level, guess who's at the bottom when it comes to women in their reading black girls in their reading level? It's black girls. But we're so familiar, so well aware that black men are at the bottom. So well aware of that. We all know that right off the top of our head, don't we? It's a lot of different stats on that. And the stats are shaky on that because you pull one study, you get a different set of percentages. You pull a different study, you get a different set of percentages. But the ratios and the and who's in front and who's in the back, that typically stays the same. That typically stays the same. Now, before I go to quoting what I got up here on the screen, I want to make sure I scan it. Oh, this is just saying girls outperform boys on state reading tests by 10 percentage points, regardless of race and ethnicity. Yeah, you can see that consistent across the board. Here's black boys bringing up the rear, and there's black girls. But you can see the same percentage gap between Hispanic boys. It's a similar gap between Hispanic girls. You can see wherever white boys are at, and they damn near at 50%. White girls are doing better. We're doing 10 points better, and so forth and so on. That is consistent across the board. There's a few other things. No, I don't know if something else was in this one. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be on, so I don't want to oh shit, hope I didn't delete or take down the wrong one. Oh, this is a fun one right here. Hold on, check this out. I'm gonna do more stuff on this because it's kind of a smaller crowd. I never know what's gonna happen on these night shows, but I'm just winging it. I'm winging it. Well, not winging it because I did prepare, but but I'll probably revisit this on the morning show. But this is a funny one. And this one said, "White kids can't read either." Now that title would make me question it. This niggas put this together, but this is called the Thomas Fordham Institution Advancing Educational Experience, and give me a minute. They're just, I don't know, it's showing the participants in the study. I want to find the interesting part. Now, the gap normally is not like this, and that's why I said these stats are funny and kind of clunky. But it was on one. It makes you question it, but it says what it says. It says on the 2013 NAEP exam in West Virginia, the Scout Foundation Black Boys report shows that the percentage of black male eighth graders reading proficiency, reading at proficiency was 18.7%, while the white male eighth grader proficiency rate was 19.7%. It would be, oh my goodness, what, Pyrrhic? It would be a Pyrrhic victory if that whopping 1% point racial achievement gap were closed, but the tragedy still remained that less than 1 in 5 black and white eighth grade boys were reading at proficiency. Now, when it comes to boys in their reading, and more research got to get done on this because I've read a lot of stuff, leading into this, and I got so many different conflicting results that it's hard to narrow it down. But I was trying to find the stat that said black men read at a fourth grade reading level. And I just wanted to ask the simple question: okay, what reading level do grown ass black women read at? What reading level do white men read at? It was actually kind of hard to find. So I will do more on this, but I was, preparing for the show, getting all the stats and pulling everything out. But what I'm finding is that with boys, reading is normally a problem. Boys normally don't read at level. It's a lot of studies that show that, most white boys is normally not this low at 19.7%, but it's a lot of studies that show that white boys are typically reading um, at 50% below proficiency as well. That was kind of common with a lot of the studies that I showed that I looked up. I'm gonna do some more research on this after air, and when I'm off the air, I'm gonna dedicate a morning show to exploring this a little more. So I'm just teasing, just tickling the edges of the plate, as David Carroll says. On the 2015 NAEP exam, oh shit, hold on. Okay, I do got it up semi right, so where y'all can see it. It says this is the last thing I'm gonna go over here. It says on the NAEP exam nationally, fewer than half of all white fourth grade students read at proficiency. So right there in the fourth grade, half of the white kids are not reading at proficiency, meaning that the gap between white student performance of 46% to 100 proficiency was almost twice the so-called black-white achievement gap. The estimate of the raw numbers of fourth grade students by race not reading at proficiency in the table I pulled final birth data. The CDC 2007 National Vital Statistics reports paired them with the percentage of fourth grade students who performed at or above proficient achievement level in reading in the 2015 exam. Percent of fourth graders at or above NAEP proficient level in reading. White was at 46, and that's including white women white girls who tend to read really well. African Americans at 18, and Hispanic at 21. So yeah, there's a problem. There's all kind of problems here. Don't get me wrong. But what I'm talking about here is just the sheer weaponizing of it. You would think that when they weaponize the reading level of black men, you'd think that black women were at an Asian woman reading level while graduating the 12th grade. They're reading at the same level as Asian women, which they're not. And what would you expect? Because black boys and black girls, they're not in separate universes. They grow up in the same households, eat the same food, got the same parents. You'd expect a similar outcome, and there is a similar outcome. And the only gap between black boys and black girls when it comes to reading is the same gap that we normally see across the board between the genders of any race. That's typically how that works. But I'm not saying things are perfect. The reading levels is low among black people. When that do need to get up, that do need to be improved. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. But it is worth pointing out. That when that's being weaponized against black men or black boys, for that matter, who will weaponize something against boys, the women who are raising them will weaponize stats again. That's a whole other story. A chick called into Kevin Samuels and was like, black men can't even read. Damn, something just fell down upstairs. Hope didn't nobody die. But all right. Blexit, are you going back and forth with RBR in the chat? Yeah, you need to let go and let God on that one. You ain't gonna win. He ain't gonna stop. I ain't even watching the YouTube end of the chat. Y'all probably clowning. Platinum says, not true, Bernie. Black girls rock. They are awesome. It is the men that are the problem. Yeah. But all right. I'm gonna wrap it up. I ain't doing a panel. I'm sleepy. But I like doing the night show every now and then. I pledge to make sure I go on at least every Monday through Friday. I'm damn near gonna try to do something every day, even if it's just a little something. Even if I just hop on for 30 minutes to an hour, I'm gonna try to make sure I hop on and do a little bit of something. Keep it as consistent as possible. I wanted to go on earlier today, but it just wouldn't working out for me. But I will be on tomorrow with Mr. Fantastic. We will be getting it in, but I would like to thank everybody who came on through tonight. And yeah, that's what I was trying to get that out the way. I'd like to thank all of you. Appreciate everybody who hit the like button. A couple people came through and hit the super chat. Y'all know I appreciate that a whole hell of a lot. Appreciate that a whole hell of a lot. So we're going to wrap it up right there. And peace. We are out of here.